Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right, so I got a pleasant surprise, maybe a unpleasant surprise, and I don't know, it depends on how you feel. But your boy is going to be able to hopefully deliver all of that content that I need to get delivered today. It's going to be a day and a night full of streams. You know what I'm saying? So if that's something that sounds good, you know what I'm saying? Throw some thumbs up, throw some radiation emojis in the chat. You know what I'm saying? We got 6 people in the building already. Shout out to all 6 of y'all that's in here. Got Carla Lockhart in the building. What up with it, Carla? Good to see you as always. We got my man Carlton Way in the building, and shouts out to the Shadow Watchers. All right. So I don't know if you guys got a chance to check the stream that I did on BLR1 yet. Check that bad boy out if you haven't had a chance. Remember, when the stream is over, stay inside the stream. This will take you to the next scheduled one. All you got to do is hit the like, hit the bell. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up. All right, that's what's up. So we back to talking about Roe v. Wade. We got Tammy in the building. What up with it, Tammy? And I saw something interesting. All right. The reason why I referenced the stream that I did was because that stream talks about how information is being manipulated. All right. In the stream that I just did, we talked about how conservatives in Texas want to change history and call it forced migration instead of calling it slavery. Okay. That's what they want to call it. Now, here's another piece of history that I find interesting. I want to show you guys a fact checker. Now, let's talk about this real quick before we get started. How do you all feel about these, quote, fact-checking apparatuses like Snopes and PolitiFact? Do you guys feel that these things are accurate, or do you guys feel that these things are inaccurate? Shouts out to everybody that's watching. We got 6 people watching and 14 likes. If everybody smashes that like button, we will have 20. All right. Shouts out to Maya. What up with it, Maya? How do you all feel about the fact checkers? Are you comfortable with the fact checkers? And here's a question for you. How is it that these tech companies designate who these people are as fact checkers? And if you're designating your own fact checker, isn't that slightly a conflict of interest? That's my question. You can't really pick out your own fact checker. What has to happen is basically somebody will look at some information that you put out there, they'll examine it, they'll do a critical analysis, and then come to their own independent conclusion. They're not independent if you picked them. But for whatever reason, social media companies think that they can pick who it is that chooses what they want to be a fact. You will see that a lot of times on my C19 channel. If you guys are not subscribed to the C19 channel, make sure you guys go over there and hit that channel up, smash that like button, and hit the bell over there. They'll have a reference of Wikipedia in there, as if the information that I'm delivering isn't accurate. Now, I don't mind being fact checked. You guys can fact check anything that I'd say. But most of the time when I do my content, I have multiple sources available right there where you can see that everything that I'm referencing is true, and it did indeed happen. I want to show you guys a fact check that I saw about Roe v. Wade, and I want to ask you guys what you think about it. Roe v. Wade happened because of a woman who lied about being raped by black men. That's what the Facebook post was. PolitiFact responds and says, contrary to the claim, grape was never mentioned in the Roe v. Wade proceedings and did not form the basis of the case. Now, who said that it formed the basis of the case? Who said that? The initial Facebook post said that the situation happened because. Now, the response is saying Contrary to the claim, grape was never mentioned in the Roe v. Wade proceedings. That's not what the claim was. The claim wasn't that grape was mentioned. The claim was that this entire situation happened because of that lie. So what I want to ask you guys is, do you see what PolitiFact is doing? If you guys see what PolitiFact is doing, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you don't see what PolitiFact is doing, give me a thumbs down. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that the initial sentence was incorrect, because what we're going to do is we're going to address something unrelated, but the unrelated element that we're going to address is also true. They say that this statement here is false. You guys can see the truth-o-meter. Roe v. Wade happened because a woman lied about being raped by black men. We'll come back to this. Shouts out to my man AB Promotions. What up with it, bro? Now we have an article from the Washington Post. What's that say? Jane Roe recants grape claim. But they just said that it was false on PolitiFact. PolitiFact, who allegedly is a verified fact checker, just said that that was wrong. Roe v. Wade happened because a woman lied about being raped by black men. False. How's that work? Anybody got the answer? How's that work? Who knows how this works? Does this make any sense? Doesn't make any sense to me. This makes absolutely no sense to me. My question is, does it make sense to you guys? I want y'all to just sit and stare at that real quick for a minute. We're going to read it. Because we got to ask ourselves, well, but you're checking facts though. Right. If you guys agree with AB Promotions, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. Roe v. Wade happened because a woman lied about being raped by black men. Contrary to the claim, grape never mentioned in Roe v. Wade proceedings and did not form the basis of the case. The claim was never that it was mentioned in the proceedings. The claim was never that that was the basis of the case. The claim was that Roe v. Wade happened because a woman lied about being raped by black men. Shouts out to Carla Lockhart. What up with it, Carla? They're making lies to be the new truth. Dub S are the masters of revising history. You know what that means? That means that we have to be the masters of preserving our history or deal with the consequences. So now here it says with the Roe v. Wade back in the headlines, a previously debunked claim that the landmark case hinged on a lie is again being shared on social media timelines. Roe v. Wade happened because a woman lied about being raped by black men, says a May 3rd post on Facebook. It also says, where's BLM? That's what white people always ask. I guess white people think that they made BLM for us to call BLM every time something goes on with black people. So I guess anytime something happens with white people, are we supposed to ask, where's the KKK? Where's Patriot Front? Where's the police? The post was flagged as a part of Facebook's efforts to combat, quote, false news and misinformation on its news feed. Read more about our partnership with Facebook. Well, if you're Facebook's partner, sounds like that's a conflict of interest. If that sounds like a conflict of interest to you guys, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If it doesn't sound like a conflict of interest, give me a thumbs down and tell me what it sounds like to you then. Because it sure as hell sounds like a conflict of interest. So now here it says, but the Supreme Court did not consider the circumstances of the plaintiff's pregnancy when ruling the case. That's not what the claim was, though. You see, this is the game that they play, and they do this because they think that people are stupid. That's not what the claim was. The plaintiff was identified during the proceedings by the pseudonym Jane Roe and later publicly revealed her name, Norma McCorvey. The U.S. Supreme Court did not consider how Jane Roe became pregnant when making its landmark decision in 1973. The Associated Press reported in 2019. How do we know that? How did they make a decision without considering how she became pregnant if this was about abortion? Wouldn't how she became pregnant have some consideration into the justification or injustification of her terminating her pregnancy? So now here it says, and McCorvey's lawyers never mentioned an alleged rape in court. Now, again, that's not the original claim. It says Roe v. Wade happened because of. It never said that this stuff was talked about in court. And it formed no part of their legal argument, Vanity Fair wrote in 2013. So again, and all they posted up was white media outlets. Shouts out to my man Steal My Beats. What up with it? So now here it says the 66-page ruling from the Supreme Court does not mention Roe's claim of rape. Now, again, that's not what the initial statement says. That's not what the initial statement says, is it? When describing Roe, the ruling says that she alleged she was unmarried and pregnant and that she wished to terminate her pregnancy by an abortion performed by a competent licensed physician under safe clinical conditions, and that she was unable to get a legal abortion in Texas because her life did not appear to be threatened by the continuation of her pregnancy, and that she could not afford to travel to another jurisdiction in order to secure legal abortion under safe conditions. McCorvey initially told reporters she had been raped, but admitted in a 1987 interview that she fabricated the grape as she sought an abortion in 1969 because she believed it would help her get access to the procedure. So now we have this shit slightly debunking itself. I want to make sure you guys see this. Abortion was illegal in Texas then, except to save a woman's life. She continued to tell the untrue story as her case attracted medical attention. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Carlton. If you guys agree with Carlton, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. I agree. Accounts of McCorvey's story in mainstream credible publications did not mention the race of the alleged attacker. And again, just because race isn't mentioned in white society, anytime white people blame any ills on society on anything, we automatically know that they're talking about black people. But since it wasn't mentioned, we'll just say it wasn't mentioned. When McCorvey revealed in 1987 that she had not been raped, the New York Times reported at that time the assertion of rape was not a factor in the Supreme Court's ruling. Well, then what were the factors? What were the factors then? That's the question, guys. What were the factors? After the post was shared on Facebook, it was tagged with a 2018 fact check, indicating that it contained false information. The person who shared the post on Facebook commented, "This is not false information. Her story about being graped led to the case. Facebook fact checkers are flat out lying. This is disgusting." But the grape allegation did not lead to the court case. So you see, they're using this technicality that she wrote right here. Her story about being raped led to the case. So now, because that wasn't technically the technical elements of what put her case in a courtroom, they're focusing on that and saying that that statement was false. But the grape allegation did not lead to her court case. McCorvey's desire to terminate her pregnancy is what led to the legal proceedings, which we all know. That's why it's a landmark trial about abortion. But there had to be circumstances that led her to want the abortion. And PolitiFact is saying that all of that is not true, despite them themselves repeating most of it. As AP reported this week about Roe v. Wade, the question before the U.S. Supreme Court was, does the Constitution recognize a woman's right to terminate her pregnancy by abortion? A Facebook post says Roe v. Wade happened because a woman lied about being raped by black men. But the allegation of grape was not taken into consideration during the case. The Supreme Court did not consider the circumstances of the plaintiff's pregnancy, and the court ruling does not mention Roe's claim of grape. McCorvey's lawyers did not mention the alleged grape in court and did not include it in their legal argument. McCorvey's desire to terminate the pregnancy, not her allegation of grape, is what led to the Roe v. Wade legal proceedings. We rate this claim as false. How would you all rate this claim? Would you all rate this claim as false? If you guys rate this claim as false, give me an angry face. If you rate this claim as true, give me a thumbs up. If you rate this claim as you don't know, type in a 3. So I want you guys to understand and pay attention to the kind of word games that are played. Okay. Pay very close attention to the word games, because that's exactly what that is. That's exactly what that is word games. So I want you guys to check out this article right here. It's an old article from the Washington Post. Jane Roe recants grape claim. All right, so she's recanted her claim of grape. The woman whose case prompted the landmark Supreme Court decision legalizing abortion. Look at this. She says she falsely claimed to have been graped in hopes of winning an exemption from the Texas law banning the operation. Isn't that exactly what that last fact check said wasn't true? And they only based it on certain information? Shouts out to my man DJ Elmo. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if everybody could smash that like button, we got 25 people watching. Shouts out to all 25 people watching. And we have, it looks like 25 likes. Let me see. We got 22 likes, 23 people watching. So if everybody smashes that button, we'll have 45 likes. So please make sure you guys help your boy out and smash that like button. If you guys agree with Carlton, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Shouts out to my man Tarek. What up with it, bro? So now here it says the new account by Norma McCorvey, who was called Jane Roe in the 1973 abortion case, Roe versus Wade, came during an interview with WUSA TV here. The station released a partial transcript last night. I found out I was pregnant through what I call was love, McCorvey said. I told the doctor that I wanted an abortion and that I did not want to carry the child for economic reasons. Despite her claim to have been graped, she was unable to obtain an abortion. McCorvey had the child, which was given up for adoption. You see this? So she lied. Hashtag believe all women. She lied and was rewarded. No, she didn't even have an abortion. She had her child. She had her child, ladies and gentlemen. She's telling all these women are bowing down, and you know what I'm saying? They're all just, we're all in this together as sisters, except for your sister had her baby, and then she gave it up for adoption. What do y'all think about that? What do you guys think about that? She said she repeated the grape story later because she was bitter, very bitter, and then allowed two lawyers to take her case to the Supreme Court. This is what Roe did. Now, how come they not talking about this in terms of the Roe v. Wade case? That's my question, ladies and gentlemen. How come they not talking about this in terms of the Roe v. Wade case? Grape was never an issue in the Supreme Court case, in which the justices declared that women have a constitutional right to an abortion on demand. So now, again, here it reiterates what PolitiFact says. It says grape was never an issue in the Supreme Court case, in which the justices declared that a woman has a constitutional right to an abortion on demand. McCorvey's lead attorney in the case, Sarah Weddington, said the issue of grape had no bearing on the outcome. Now, my question is, how is it that the issue of grape had no bearing on the outcome? The judges may have had, it may have had no bearing on the judges, but it more than likely had some kind of bearing on how the case got into the courtroom. What was she bitter about? That's a good question. I wish I had the answer. McCorvey and Weddington were interviewed for a documentary, Searching for Justice, 3 American Stories, to be broadcast on Sunday evening. And again, it's an old article. So that's the end of it. That's the end of that article. So we got one more. We got one more. This one might make you the most angry. You guys ready? Let's check this out real quick. Roe versus Wade, woman behind abortion ruling was paid to recant. She was paid. This was a whole bag for her. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? This is an article from BBC. Roe versus Wade, woman behind U.S. abortion ruling was paid to recant. What do you guys think? Now, my question is, how come the mainstream media is not talking about this in these terms right here? That's my question. Come on, y'all. We got shit to talk about, and the mainstream media is not doing it. Because the mainstream media has a problem with legitimacy. They're illegitimate. They can't be trusted for anything. And they're largely incompetent. So now, here it says Norma McCorvey, known as Jane Roe in the U.S. Supreme Court's decision on Roe versus Wade, shocked the country in 1995 when she came out against abortion. She came out against abortion in 1995. Is anybody aware of that? Exactly. Keith says can't rely on lamestream media. They only talk about things that fit their agenda. Now, here's my question: what is their agenda? That's facts, DJ Elmo. Media comes from the Greek word media, meaning deception. How many of you guys knew this? If you guys knew this, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't know this, give me a thumbs down. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Norma McCorvey, known as Jane Roe in the U.S. Supreme Court's decision on Roe v. Wade, shocked the country in 1995 when she came out against abortion. I'm going all the way back on this. But in the new footage, McCorvey alleges that she was paid to switch sides. She was paid. She was paid to switch sides, y'all. According to this, the documentary, aka Jane Roe, airs on Friday on the U.S. channel FX. The program was filmed in the last months of McCorvey's life before her death at age 69 in 2017 in Texas. Mind you, this is Texas, the same place where we're having the issues with the education. Supreme Court justice ruling came after McCorvey, then 25-year-old single woman under the pseudonym Jane Roe, challenged the criminal abortion laws in Texas that forbade abortion as unconstitutional, except in cases where the mother's life was in danger. So she had to at least try to make it appear that she was in front of the court because her life was in danger. And then as a result, the court came out with that ruling and said women have a right to an abortion. Henry Wade was the Texas attorney who defended the anti-abortion law. McCorvey first filed the case in 1969 when she was pregnant with her third child and claimed that she had been raped, but the case was rejected and she was forced to give birth. In her deathbed confession, as she calls it, visibly ailing, McCorvey says she only became an anti-abortion activist because she was paid by evangelical groups. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about that? I was the big fish, she said. I think it was a mutual thing. I took their money and they'd put me out in front of cameras and tell me what to say. Unapologetically. This is what I did, and I don't give a fuck about what kind of consequences or nonsense that I caused as a result. Emmanuel says she gave up all her kids for adoption. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is what has America up in arms. You guys see it? Get a good look at it. This is what has America up in arms. Layers and 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 layers of lies. Layers and layers of them. That's what I could say. It was all an act. I did it too well. I'm a good actress. Of course, I'm not acting now. Of course. Of course. Of course. What do you guys think? Dumbfounded? She added, if a young woman wants to have an abortion, that's no skin off my ass. That's why they call it choice. There you go. There you go. She never got any consequence for going around talking about a rape that didn't happen. What if she had to put that on a guy? Yeah, she never let out of her 3 or 4 phase. She was a futuristic woman, which by this time she would be a modern woman. And these are the modern women that Kevin Samuels and them didn't talk about. Rest in peace. So we're going to pick up the torch and we're going to be talking about these kinds of modern women. These kind. Emmanuel Carey says abortion is a dog whistle for a 304. That's a fact. If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. I agree. AKA Jane Roe chronicles McCorvey's troubled, impoverished youth as a sexual abuse survivor and her long-standing relationship with girlfriend Connie Gonzalez. Okay, so now this is it right here. This is McCorvey on the right in this picture. She's a member of the she was a member of the LGBTQ community. 304. If you put that in the calculator and then turn it upside down, it looks like ho. What do you guys think about that? It's kind of crazy, right? Again, pay very close attention who's not talking about that. I think we need to have an uncomfortable conversation about female manipulation tactics and honesty. But the mainstream media doesn't want to do that. This is dangerous. This is something that needs to be contained. This shouldn't be entitled #believe all women for what? So that a decade later you can find out everything was a thinly veiled lie? Look at this. 808. That's funny. After her mid-1990s conversation to become a born-again Christian, I'll tell you what, a born-again Christian is also that's a dog whistle for a 304. She is also a big boob. Man, that's wild. Yeah. Angelina Wright says that she was the Me Too before the Me Too. She was the LGBTQ before the LGBTQ. Just like Carolyn Bryant lying on Emmett Till, an ongoing legacy. An ongoing legacy. Just saying. McCorvey disavowed Gonzalez even as they continue to live together. The documentary touches upon another irony of McCorvey's life, that she herself never had an abortion. The famous Roe from Roe V. Wade never had an abortion. What do you guys think? She didn't want any responsibility or accountability. None. None. An ongoing legacy. An ongoing legacy. Nobody's making this up. See, white people listen to this. This is just Kang shit and hyperbole. You know what I'm saying? Black supremacist babble. That's what people like Big Nose, Manhole Nostrils, Bill Mayer says. That's what Tucker Monkey Mouth Carlson says. Carlson. This ain't King babble. This ain't hyperbole. This is right from the mainstream media. These are the stories that they print up and then just shove in the under the door. These are the stories that they print up and just shove up under the door. Now, you guys know what's happening, right? We got content all day long. So when this stream is over, don't move a muscle. Make sure you let it take you into the window for the next stream and hit the like button, because you guys are really going to want to see this next stream. Okay. Very interesting stream. Very interesting that it's not really being talked about very much. That's one of the things that I like to do, is talk about stuff that is not really talked about very much. You know what I'm saying? And then I like to do some stupid shit sometimes too. You got to balance it out with some stupid shit. So now here it says she was pregnant with her third child. She was referred to two lawyers who wanted to challenge Texas abortion laws. So she was a pawn in a political scheme. Okay? That's all she was. She was a pawn in a political scheme. Yep. Roe was LGBTQ. Her girlfriend's last name was Gonzalez. Funny how they're not talking about that. The case went all the way to the highest court in the land, where by a vote of 7-2, the justices ruled that the government lacked the power to prohibit abortions, a decision that changed America. The court's judgment was based on the decision that a woman's right to terminate her pregnancy came under the freedom of personal choice in family matters as protected by the Constitution. The Reverend Robert Schneck, one of the evangelical pastors who worked with McCorvey after her conversion to Christianity in the mid 1900s, also features in this documentary. The minister, look at this. The minister acknowledged McCorvey was paid for her appearances on the movement's behalf. The program says as much as $500,000. So it's not speculation. They know for a fact that she was paid. She was paid off. She's a literal paid agent. Roe is a literal paid agent. There should be videos all over about this. But you don't see any. You know what I'm saying? Where's all the videos at? Where's all the content at? Even Fox, you would think that, they would be talking about this. They're not. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 23 people watching. Shouts out to all 23 people that are watching. And we got 28 likes. If everybody smashes that like button, we will have 51 likes. So let's try to get this up to 51 likes. Okay. Glad you enjoying it, Keith. He says, I knew what we were doing, Mr. Schneck says. And there were times when I was sure she knew. And I wondered, is she playing us? What I didn't have was the guts to say, because I know damn well we're playing her. In a highly self-critical blog post on Tuesday, Mr. Schneck said the documentary had made him cry, and he hoped that people would watch it. Now, my question is, what do you guys think about all this? This is a lot. My man Tarek says, you'll never see any stories about that, Rob, because it's the old adage to never let the truth get in the way. We have a good story. That's a fact. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a fact. And you know what else that is? That is the end of this live stream. So, ladies and gentlemen, players and pimps, I really appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, we got a busy day ahead. All you got to do is just stick around. It'll take you right into the next stream. Smash that like button, hit that bell so you guys can get notified. And I will catch you all on the next one. All right? Peace.